Monday night, June 8th, 2026, the Strait of Hormuz, the most dangerous 21 miles of water on Earth. A U.S. Army Apache attack helicopter is flying a routine patrol off the coast of Oman when something streaks out of the darkness. An Iranian drone. Seconds later, one of the most advanced attack helicopters ever built is falling out of the sky. 2 American soldiers hit the black water, alone, at night. In waters watched by Iranian missile batteries, Iranian fast attack boats, Iranian drones. Every minute they're in that water, the danger grows. A manned rescue means sending more Americans into the same kill zone that just claimed an Apache. So the United States military did something no military in history has ever done. They didn't send a ship. They didn't send a helicopter. Not at first. They sent a robot. And in the next 2 hours, a 24-foot unmanned boat with nobody on board pulled off the first robotic combat rescue in the history of warfare. This is exactly how it happened. To understand why this rescue was so risky, you need to understand where it happened. The Strait of Hormuz is the choke point between the Persian Gulf and the open ocean. At its narrowest, it's just 21 miles wide, with Iran on one side, Oman on the other. A fifth of all the oil traded on planet Earth squeezes through this corridor. Tankers, warships, fishing boats, smugglers, all packed into a strip of water you could drive across in 20 minutes. And lining the Iranian shore, anti-ship missiles, drone bases, radar sites, and the fast attack boats of the Revolutionary Guard. American ships and aircraft patrol here every single day, eye to eye with Iranian forces. Tensions in 2026 are at a boiling point. Earlier this year, American and Iranian forces traded direct strikes during Operation Epic Fury before settling into a fragile, nervous ceasefire. This is the environment where that Apache was flying. Routine patrol, but in the Strait of Hormuz, routine means flying inside the engagement range of a country you were just at war with. Every patrol is a bet, and on Monday night, the bet went wrong. At 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time, the AH-64 Apache went down in the waters off Oman near the strait. According to U.S. officials, an Iranian drone brought it down. What's still unclear, even now, is whether it was a deliberate attack or a catastrophic mistake. Iran's own state media reported the crash, but said almost nothing. Washington wasn't ambiguous. The president publicly blamed Iran for shooting down the helicopter, calling it a hostile act. Think about what the Apache is. Tandem cockpit, 2 crew, a flying arsenal of Hellfire missiles and a 30mm chain gun wrapped in sensors that can see in the dark. It is one of the deadliest aircraft ever put in the sky. And a drone, cheap, small, expendable, just knocked one into the sea. If you watched our last videos, you already know this story. The cheap drone has changed everything about modern war. But the shoot-down is only half the story. Because now, 2 American soldiers are floating in hostile water at night, and the clock is running. Every combat aviator knows the math of going down at sea. Hypothermia, exhaustion, currents dragging you away from your crash point. And in these waters, the very real possibility that the first boat to reach you isn't friendly. Iranian forces seizing 2 downed American crew members would turn a crisis into a catastrophe. The recovery wasn't just a rescue, it was a race. Here's where the story turns. Because the U.S. Navy had something waiting in these waters that almost nobody outside the military had ever heard of. Task Force 59, based in Bahrain under the U.S. Fifth Fleet, stood up in 2021 as the first naval formation in American history dedicated entirely to unmanned systems, robot boats, autonomous sensors, AI-driven surveillance, all designed to watch these exact waters around the clock. The logic was simple. There are never enough manned ships to monitor everything Iran does. But for pennies on the dollar, you can flood the Gulf with robots that never sleep, never blink, and never put a sailor at risk. For years, Task Force 59's drones did the quiet work, tracking smugglers, monitoring Iranian movements, feeding intelligence back to the fleet. Sea drones had been used for mine clearance, for surveillance. In Ukraine, explosive drone boats sank Russian warships, but no nation, ever, had used one to pull its own people out of a combat zone. The machine that would change that is called the Corsair, built by Saronic Technologies. 24 feet long, about the size of a speedboat, no crew, no cockpit, capable of 35 knots, carrying 1,000 pounds, with an endurance of over 1,000 nautical miles. It can run independently or in networked swarms, with a human operator supervising via data link. The company has built over 300 of them, and the fleet has logged more than 100,000 nautical miles. On Monday night, one of them got a mission no sea drone had ever been given. Go get our people. Picture the scene from the water. You're a downed aviator, treading in the dark, salt in your eyes, adrenaline burning off into cold. You're scanning the blackness for rescue, and what comes for you isn't a helicopter spotlight or a rigid inflatable full of rescue swimmers. It's a low, fast, unmanned speedboat, engines humming, nobody aboard, sliding out of the night. The Corsair located the 2 crew members in the water. The soldiers climbed aboard a boat with no crew to greet them, a machine guided by operators miles away, holding steady in the swell. Then it carried them across the water to a safer transfer point, away from the threat zone. There, a manned helicopter moved in, hoisted both soldiers up, and flew them out. Total time from shoot down to safe, roughly 2 hours. Both soldiers stable, nobody else exposed, not one additional American put inside Iranian engagement range. And that last part is the entire point. A traditional combat search and rescue package is one of the riskiest missions in military aviation. You're sending helicopters, rescue swimmers, escort aircraft into the exact spot where something just got shot down. The threat that killed the first aircraft is usually still there, waiting for the rescuers. Iran's neighborhood made that gamble even uglier. The robot removed the gamble entirely. As one Navy fighter pilot put it bluntly, if they get shot at, you just launch another one. That sentence is the future of warfare in 10 words. Machines are now absorbing the risks that used to cost human lives. Within a day, the United States answered. Proportional retaliatory strikes against Iranian targets, a sharp, controlled response meant to punish the shoot-down without reigniting the full war. The fragile ceasefire held, barely. The strait went back to its usual state. Not war, not peace, just a loaded weapon with the safety half on. But step back from the politics, because what happened in the water matters more than the strikes that followed. For 70 years, combat rescue has followed the same brutal logic. Risk many to save few. Because that promise, that we will always come for you, is what lets aviators fly into danger at all. Entire units exist for this. Para-rescue men, rescue squadrons, men who dive into kill zones on the worst night of someone else's life. That promise didn't change Monday night, but the price of keeping it did. For the first time, the machine went into the kill zone first, and the humans stayed out of it. A 35-knot robot took the risk that used to belong to a helicopter crew, and it worked, flawlessly, on the first try, in real combat conditions. Every military on Earth watched it happen. The Pentagon has been pouring money into unmanned systems for years: robot wingmen, robot resupply, robot minesweepers. Skeptics always asked the same question: will any of it actually matter when lives are on the line? On Monday night, in the most dangerous waterway on Earth, the answer came back: yes. And remember the other side of this story. A cheap Iranian drone took down a multi-million-dollar Apache, and an American robot boat took the rescue. Machines opened this engagement, and machines closed it. The humans, the 2 soldiers in the water, were the only people in the entire chain who were ever truly at risk. That is what modern war looks like now. That is where all of this is going. 2 soldiers went into the black water of the Strait of Hormuz, shot down by a drone, and came home because of one. not a single rescuer was put in harm's way. The first robotic combat rescue in human history is already in the books, and warfare will never fully go back. The next time someone tells you drones are just toys with cameras, tell them about the night a robot boat answered a mayday off the coast of Iran. If you want more breakdowns of the missions, machines, and operators rewriting modern warfare, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos every week. This is Operator Ready. We'll catch you next time.